Call this meeting to order. This is the regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Cottonwood, Arizona, to be held May 7th, 2019 at 6 p.m. at the City Council chambers. If we could please have the Deputy Clerk take the roll.
Councilmember Althouse.
Here.
Councilmember Matthews.
Here.
Councilmember Hulse.
Here.
Councilmember Naren.
Here.
Vice Mayor Henry.
Here.
Mayor Linsky.
Here.
And Councilmember Hargy is absent.
Okay. Please stand and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next on the agenda is a brief summary of current events by a mayor, city council, and/or city manager. The public body does not propose, discuss, deliberate, or take legal action on any matter brought up during the summary unless the specific matter is properly noticed for legal action. So do we have any council members with something to share?
I have a couple of things.
Please.
I just want to share that on April 30th, I went to the career day at Beaver Creek School along with Rudy Rodriguez and Chief Gazelle. And it was the first one that they've had, and they had quite a few professionals there to talk to the kids. They did it in 20-minute increments and brought in the 3rd through the 8th graders. Some of them asked some questions, and many of them did not. But it was interesting and fun. I got to talk about myself 7 different times, so that's always awesome. And then this past Saturday, I went to the airport to the EAA Eagle Flight Program, which is a free program for anybody who wants to learn about flying small planes and such. So I sat through the presentation, and then they took me up on one of the planes, and they let me fly for a few minutes, so it was really pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah, so anybody else interested in learning about that, I would encourage them to go to one of these events.
Great, thank you. Any other council members?
Yeah.
Please.
On the 20th, I attended the Easter egg hunt, and we had a large crowd. Kids had a lot of fun, ate a lot of candy, and it was fun. On April 26th, I attended the Employee and Volunteer Recognition Dinner and recognized all of our employees that have earned awards in time and service, as well as our volunteers. On the 25th, I attended the quarterly council meeting, regional council meeting for NACOG. Found out a lot of things about that. I think you've got it in your minutes. I think Ron put that out. And then on the 27th, I attended the Rat Rod's Old Town Hot Rod Show, and a lot of people there. Ron was there, you were there. I'm not sure. I didn't see anybody else, but some of you may have been there. There were a lot of different types of hot rods there. Many of them looked like somebody drug them out of a junkyard, and others were pristine. So it was a very interesting experience.
Yeah. All right. Any other council members? No. Okay. Real quick, along with Vice Mayor, we cooked at the Great Sedona Chili Cook-Off last Saturday. Which is a fundraiser for the Rotary Club. It raises money for the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, so it's a great cause, and we are proud to have brought home People's Choice, first place. We can't claim any of the credit, honestly. It was Chris Smith that cooked the chili, so we really have a lot to thank.
Who?
Chris Smith from Morken Vineyards.
Oh, okay.
He helped prepare the chili, so he did a great job. The people spoke. It was the best. So, let's see. Verde Front, yesterday we attended that with Ron Corbin, and we're sort of working through our strategic plan with the Verde Front. We're taking it in increments and hoping to get a little bit more organized in the coming years here. Today starts off the Teacher Appreciation Week. So if you know any teachers in your life, please thank them. Take the time to thank them for all the hard work that they do. There's many ways you can get involved to help show support for teachers. If you can get in touch with Gretchen Westbrock or Riney Scott from Mingus Union, they'd help point you in the right direction. And this Friday, I've been invited to speak at Yavapai College, give a little 5-minute commencement speech. Apparently, I'm going to wear a robe, so that's pretty exciting. Something funny, Ron?
advise you not to say anything. In college, they used to call us togas, right?
I'm thinking we'd all like to see the pictures of that.
Yeah, right. Hoping there will be none taken. And Bike to Work Week kicks off next week. So this Saturday at 9 a.m., there's going to be at the Kids Park, we're going to do a kickoff ride. So we'll ride from the Kids Park at 9 a.m. down into Old Town. And that's really the start for the Bike to Work Week. And you can register on the Cottonwood team. There's no other team really to register on. No. I mean, there's other teams, but not any worth joining up with. By going to Verde Valley Bike to Work Week at gmail.com. Excuse me, you have to email it. Email Verde Valley Bike. Oh, gown? What did I say? Robe? Okay. Sorry, that's bathroom. Verde Valley Bike to Work Week at gmail.com. They'll send you a link to register. Yavapai County has held the trophy the last couple of years. I'm really hoping that Cottonwood can take it home. And that's all I have. Mr. Corbin.
Tim, may I add something? Your teacher appreciation just reminded me, it's also Nurse Appreciation Week. Thank you, Ron. So along with thanking your teachers, please also thank your nurses.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So you already mentioned several of the things. It's been a busy last few weeks. I do want to add to the bike ride, to the mayor's bike ride that leaves 9 a.m. from the Kids Park. We're going to end up meeting up at the new bike corral. So they're the high school welded this beautiful bike corral with the city logo and inspiring and vibrant community just down the street here. So we're going to have a ribbon cutting about 9:30 that morning, and then if you want to stop by and have coffee with the mayor about 9:50 right up here at the Red Rooster is where we'll finish. So you'll have a busy morning that morning, sir.
Great.
Also, I wanted to let everyone know and the council know that I've actually been invited to get in an airplane. A little nervous about it. Tomorrow, I'll be flying over the Verde River, looking around the Nature Conservancy in conjunction with EcoFlight is giving me a tour of our river and the ecology around here up at the headwaters and down. So I'm pretty excited about that. I also wanted to thank the Verde Valley Leadership Group who did some tree planting and did some work on our youth center down there. I was very appreciative of that. Also, the employee recognition I thought was a big hit. I did want to say thank you, Mayor, for co-emceeing that. I don't think that was in your plan, so I appreciate that. And I really do appreciate all the employees and the work that they do. We got to recognize some outstanding public servants, so I appreciate that. I also wanted to end with, we did have a town hall last Tuesday on the budget. Unfortunately, Councilmember Nair was the only one to show up, so we didn't have to actually give the presentation, but we did have the meeting to answer questions, and we still have, I think, about 3 more public meetings.
At least 2, I'm working on a 3rd one.
Right, that we will go to public groups to talk about the budget over the next 4 to 5 weeks.
Okay. If there's nothing else, then we'll move on to call to the public. This portion of the agenda is set aside for the public to address the council regarding an item that is not listed on the agenda for discussion. However, the council cannot engage in discussion regarding any item that is not officially listed on the agenda for discussion and/or action. And we limit, we limit comments to a 5-minute time period. So if there's any folks out there tonight that want to speak to the public, please fill out one of these yellow forms. You'll find them in the back. And APS is exempt from the 5-minute time restraint. But before you get up, we did receive one other letter that Superintendent Steve King wanted me to read out loud into the public record. So it says, Dear Cottonwood City Council, I wanted to take a moment and thank you and the city staff for all of their assistance this past year as we have transitioned our schools to a new model. The City Planning Office, Parks and Recreation, Library, Fire Department, and Police Department have played a large and instrumental role in providing greater opportunities for the children of our community and have worked with our district in making our schools safer. The work and collaboration of Hezekiah Allen, Jack Teal, Chief Gazelle, Robert Winnicky, Rick Contreras, City Council members, town managers, and the Mayor are greatly appreciated, and we are very grateful. It truly does take a community to build strong children with bright futures. And again, this comes from Superintendent Steve King from Cottonwood Oak Creek School District. He would be here, but he too is in a board meeting tonight. So that's it. And then we have Darla DeVille and Mackenzie Rogers, I believe, from APS. Unfortunately, they were going to make a presentation that somehow didn't get on the agenda. We don't know how our wires got crossed, but they're going to go ahead and just give this presentation right now. So thanks for being here. You bet.
Thank you very much. Is it on? Appreciate you guys making the adjustments. I promise I won't be very long. But I'm better with pictures, so. I can do it without, it's not a problem.
Yeah, if you can get rolling, maybe
Yeah.
it's sometimes is a,
Absolutely. So, Honorable Mayor, esteemed council, my name is Mackenzie Rogers, and I'm the Northwest Division Manager for APS. You would see in front of you our core values. Safety and reliability is what we are and who we are and what we stand for, and it's number one at APS. I'm here to tell you the only thing today that's more important to us as a company than reliability is the safety to our customers and our communities. So I'm here today to tell you about what APS is doing to support public safety in coordination with our first responders and our forest management agencies. So this is not a new thing to APS. For a number of years, we've completed fire risk reduction measures. I'll touch on a few of them. So we have, every year, we worked on maintaining and clearing our right-of-ways and our equipment to ensure that we mitigate the fuels around our infrastructure. So I have on the program a list of robust programs that we have in place, including our vegetation management program, our defensible space around poles, or our DSAP program, which is exactly what it sounds like, similar to creating a defensible space around your home. We create defensible space 10 feet all the way around our equipment poles. We also conduct detailed pole-by-pole inspections every year on all the distribution feeders, and each troubleman's required to sign off that they certify they've reported all concerns on the poles. Perfect. Perfect timing. Okay. Got 50% here. We also have a full-time fire mitigation specialist on staff that works closely with local fire authorities and the Forest Service to ensure that we follow all protocols and oversees all of our fire mitigation programs. Perfect timing, because this is a picture of the defensible space around poles. This is from the Tinder fire last year from Payson, and it shows poles perfectly intact when all the vegetation around it was destroyed by a fire. So we know this program works. These are available online. This has wildfire safety tips and more information about planting, what's appropriate to plant in a right-of-way and near service lines. I want to point out specifically the public safety hotline on this. It's 602-371-7171. If you see anything that looks unsafe, please call. We're encouraging public to call us. We'd rather send our first responders out and double-check something than risk not. As mentioned earlier, every year we conduct public safety line patrols on overhead equipment in heavy wildland-urban interface areas. That's over 2,800 miles across the whole state, and 1,200 of those miles are in Yavapai County. So we've got a large majority of those within the county. So during these, as mentioned, we physically walk down every line with the use of drones, UTVs, and by foot to put eyes on the condition of every piece of equipment. Additionally, some of you might have heard me speak last year, and we're reinstating the same measures to possibly interrupt service and increase our operations protocols so that before re-energizing lines, we ensure our first responders patrol sections of the line with additional rigor during outages in high fire risk areas throughout the summer months. While reliability is something we pride ourselves on at APS, and we recognize that this could prolong outages, we prioritize the safety of our customers and communities above the reliability of our services. However, we're also leveraging more technology and strategically installing over 400 fault indicators across our system, and those are essentially blinky lights that go on the lines that indicate the location of a fault or signal trouble at a location, even in the middle of the night or in the middle of the forest. We realize that any disruption of power is a major inconvenience to our customers, so we're trying to get the word out in as many different ways as we can and communicate these changes and ensure our customers are communicated with and know the tools that are available. We'll be sending letters to all customers in these areas of higher fire risk based on their proximity to the wildland-urban interface and forest, and this will include safety and fire-wise tips, as well as a notification that they could experience longer than normal outages during this time. This is a picture of our APS app, and you can go to aps.com to provide access either through the app or aps.com to our outage map. These include updates and estimated restoration times for outages, and you can sign up for text alerts there for outages specific to your home or business. However, contrary to popular belief, we don't always automatically know when you're out of power, so please call, and if you do download the app, there's a one-click button that you can report through the app if you have an outage. The more people that report, the quicker we're able to identify and prioritize the outages on the system, especially during a storm when we have multiple people out in multiple locations. These are just some quick tips on what to do during an outage. Number one thing is stay away from any downed power lines, and don't try to fix them on your own. And then another note here, if you keep your refrigerators and freezers closed, the food will keep in your fridge up to 8 hours in a fridge and 24 hours in a freezer. And then in the event that we have a sustained outage, APS will set up ice stations or offer ice reimbursements that you can put in your freezer to keep food fresh. If you need any additional information, please go to aps.com or reach out to Darla or myself. We're happy to answer any questions. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Ms. Rogers. Appreciate it. Sorry for the mishap on that, but thanks for being here. Okay, good. Are there any other folks here tonight that would like to address the council during call to the public? No? Okay, then we'll move on to approval of the minutes of the work session of April 9, 2018, regular meeting of April 16, 2018, and the budget work session of April 24, 2019.
I'm going to move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay, Councilmember Althouse made the motion. Councilmember Holst seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, minutes are approved. Next on the agenda is our consent agenda. We have 6 items under the consent agenda tonight. The following items are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the council and will be approved by one motion. And I'll read the items out loud, and if there's anybody in the audience that would like to have one of these items pulled, please indicate so by raising your hand. Number 1 is application for extension of premises liquor license permit submitted by TAMARA MORKEN for that brewery located at 300 East Cherry Street, Building B, for an event scheduled for July 4th, 2019. Item 2 is special event liquor license application submitted by Christian Oliva del Rio, applicant for the Cottonwood Chamber of Commerce for a chamber mixer scheduled for May 16, 2019 at 150 South 6th Street. Item 3 is proposed contract with Westwood Professional Services, Inc., doing business as Slater Hannafin Group for a detailed floodplain study of Silver Springs Gulch and Railroad Wash. Item 4, resolutions number 2999, 3000, 3001, and 3002, approving intergovernmental agreements for emergency dispatching services with Sedona Fire District, Verde Valley Fire District, Copper Canyon Fire and Medical District, and the Town of Jerome. Item 5 is emergency services dispatching agreement with Verde Valley Ambulance Company. Item 6 is revised notice of intent to increase water and wastewater utility rates. Are there any members of the public that would like to have an item pooled? Any members of the council who would like to have an item pooled?
Yes, actually, I would like to ask item number 6 to be pulled for further discussion, please.
Okay. Then let's go ahead and have a motion for items 1 through 5, and then we can pool 6.
Move to approve the consent agenda, items 1 through 5.
Second.
Okay, Vice Mayor made the motion. Councilmember Matthews seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? All right, so those items are approved, and then we'll pool item 6 for discussion, which is revised notice of intent to increase water and wastewater utility rates. Mr. Corbin.
We're available for questions. There is no change to any thing presented last week. There's no new presentation. There was a error on the timing and the dates for the posting, so those have been revised. You'll see the effective date is pushed off till September 1st versus July 1 to make sure that we make all of the notice requirements. So there's no changes to any information inside the notice of intent.
And what happened was the notice was queued up for a different meeting, and that it got postponed because it conflicted with either time or content of other discussions. But we decided not to bring it forward until we did, and we didn't update the dates in the notice. And just out of an abundance of caution, we thought you should adopt the revised notice with all the proper dates.
Got it. So this pushes everything out further a bit. Okay.
Same process, same hearings, same notice.
Okay. Does that
So
answer?
the reason that I asked this be pulled mainly is because I know there's at least one member of the public here that would like to be heard on this issue before we vote.
Okay. Are there any folks here tonight that would like to address the council on this issue?
On what issue?
So we're discussing now revised notice of intent to increase water and wastewater rates.
Yeah, I did.
Great. If you could please, sir, approach the microphone there, speak into it, and you are limited to a 5-minute time period. And thanks for being here this evening.
You bet. I was just wondering how we're thinking that the public could really afford to pay for the mistakes of our council over the past, when obviously we really can't. I mean, I am not so far in debt that we can't get out, because I've had to watch my finances, of course. And I mean, the city has spent where we're, I don't know how many millions of dollars in debt, to be honest with you. The last I heard was like 75 million. I find that ludicrous and outrageous. However, it's not on the back of the people to try and pick up the mistakes of the past. We need to figure out where we're at now and move on, but good grief. From what I understood, I was told that you guys wanted to raise our water rates by 1.5 times. And I don't know if that's true, but to be honest with you, I have lived at my address since October 19th of 1983. And I would tell you, if the water rates go up like that, I would be moving out of Cottonwood, period. It is absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion, that we should have to fund something that should never have been done in the first place. If I understand it right, the water reclamation plant was voted down by the city and yet put in by the mayor. Now, if that's not right, I don't know.
No.
How did the water reclamation plant get approved? Because I really don't know, to be honest.
That actually can't, I wasn't on the council when that was approved, but that can't happen. We are 7 people, and it's a majority vote. The mayor is just one, and I don't mean to minimize that,
Right.
Mayor.
Right,
But
no.
he's one of the 7 votes, and
Right.
so it's impossible for something to be voted down, and the mayor or vice mayor or even the city manager to override that. That's impossible.
Okay.
And Steve, if you want to add, but, I mean,
I think you're exactly right. The wastewater plant was authorized by the council to be constructed.
Okay. Authorized by council.
Yes,
It did not get voted on by the public. Is that correct?
that's correct. What the public voted on decades ago was authorizing the city to be in the wastewater business.
Seeing at my address, I used to have a septic tank, which I don't, because the city said, you'll get rid of it and you'll pay for sewer, whether you like it or not. At my same address.
There will be, how many more public hearings on this?
2, right?
Two
Two
more
more
public
meetings.
hearings on the
Yes.
notice of intent to increase the rates. So
Yeah.
I would encourage you to, do you know what are those dates? Is it here in the
It is.
packet? And if you have any other specific questions, because you're going to be limited on time tonight, but if you have any other specific questions, you can email me or the manager or any other
Okay.
council member.
No,
We
that's
can
good.
answer those
I'm good
questions
for
for
now.
you.
But thanks, guys.
July 16th.
July 16 will be the next public hearing on this issue. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
good.
Okay. Does that answer your question?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
You bet. All right. So then I will move to adopt the proposed revised notice of intent to increase rates, fees, and charges for the City of Cottonwood Municipal Water and Wastewater Utilities from September 1, 2019 through June 30th, 2024, in accordance with the rate schedules previously approved on April 16, 2019, to publish the notice of intent as required by A.R.S. Section 9-511.01.8.2, and to hold the required public hearing on the proposed new rates, fees, and charges at the regular council meeting at the City Council Chamber starting at 6 p.m. on July 16, 2019.
Second.
Okay, Mayor made the motion, Councilmember Althouse seconded it. If we could have a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Althouse,
Yes.
Councilmember Halls,
Yes?
Councilmember Matthews,
Yes.
Councilmember Naren,
No.
Vice Mayor Henry,
Yes.
Mayor Linsky,
Yes.
and motion carried.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, before you move on, the Vice Mayor noted that the agenda, you approved the minutes from the budget work session of the 24th. It was actually held on the 23rd, and we didn't have one on the 24th. There was one scheduled for the 24th. I think as long as the record reflects that, you're fine, or you can move to amend that to approve the minutes of the 23rd rather than the 24th.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I apologize, I didn't catch it.
I didn't either. Let's just go ahead and backtrack, and I'll motion to approve that we approve the minutes of the budget work session of April 23rd, 2019.
Second.
Okay, Mayor made the motion. Vice Mayor seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, clean that up.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, thank you for noticing that. Okay. Let's move on to new business then. The following items are for council discussion, consideration, possible legal action. Item 1 is resolution number 2998, appointing Susan Cox, a member of the Library Advisory Board. Evening.
Good evening. I'm Amanda Wilbur, the HR Director. Tonight, we are presenting to council to appoint Susan Cox to the Library Advisory Board. So due to the resignation of Councilmember Jackie Naren on the Library Advisory Board, we have one position open, and the seat expires January 21st, 2020. We advertised for that posting. We only received one application from Susan Cox, so we did not go through the blind review process as there was only one applicant. Susan lives inside the incorporated city limits, which is the only real minimum requirement for this board. So staff recommends that we appoint her to this board. Susan is here to introduce herself to you tonight.
Great.
Okay.
Ms. Cox, why don't you come on up and introduce yourself? Thanks for being here.
Welcome. Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. I'm actually, should have done this a long time ago. Gotten on the library board. I'm a retired librarian. So I love the library. I've always gone to the library since before I was born, I believe. So, and I'm supposed to, excuse me, Ryan is absolutely wonderful manager. He paid me big bucks for that one. So anyway, just to help the library move forward, and there's so many changes going on right now in libraries, and my sister and I are both retired librarians, and so we see a lot of things across the country, and we're very involved with what happens. And if it can be applied here, great. If it can't be, you know, we don't do it because we are small, but we are mighty. And so, thank you very much. You have any questions for me?
Any questions for Ms. Cox?
I'd just like to say thank you for volunteering. I think you'll be a really good asset to this particular board with your background, so
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much. You're joining a good team, so
Yes,
we appreciate it.
thanks.
All right.
I move to approve resolution number 2998, appointing Susan Cox, a member of the city's Library Advisory Board with a term expiring January 21st, 2021.
Second.
Okay, Vice Mayor made the motion. Councilmember Naren seconded it. If we could have a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Althouse,
Yes.
Councilmember Halls,
Yes?
Councilmember Matthews,
Yes.
Councilmember Naren,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Henry,
Yes.
Mayor Linsky,
Yes.
and motion carried.
Okay, very good. Congratulations. Item 2 is ordinance number 661, amending Title 14, City Utilities, Chapter 14.05, Contract for Water or Water and Sewer Service of the Municipal Code by deleting Section 14.05.010, Contract for Services B, and adding new subsections 3 and 4 to section 14.05.010F. First reading. Good evening.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, I'm Tom Whitmer of the Natural Resources / Utilities Division at this point in time. This is the first reading of ordinance number 661, which will repeal section 14.050.010B of the municipal code and amend section 14.050.010F, which will include 2 additional options for waiving the currently required security deposit when signing up for a water delivery service. As most of you are aware, we've been trying to streamline things and make them more simple for the public. And in this case, we're looking at trying to simplify and streamline the way people sign up for water delivery service. Currently, as most of you may be aware, it can only be done in person at the water billings office. And at the time of signing up, it will require you to not only submit an application, but it will also require you to provide a copy of your driver's license or a copy of your passport. It'll also require you to provide a copy of a warranty deed or a signed copy of your lease if you were an owner or a renter. And it will also require you to then pay your security deposit along with an establishment fee. With the adoption of Ordinance 661, we're trying to streamline that. We're going to provide another option that will allow people to actually sign up online and do everything online and not have to go in. The repeal of section 14.050 or 14.010.050B is the requirement that requires you to, or the individual to provide a copy of their warranty deed or their copy of their lease. That will no longer be required. So everything can be online. They can fill out the application online. They can upload a copy of their driver's license or passport online. And they're no longer have to be required to provide the lease, a copy of the lease or their warranty deed. They can still go ahead and upload a copy of their driver's license or passport online, which makes it rather simple. And then in addition to that, they can go ahead and pay their additional fees that are required, the security deposit and the establishment fee. The security deposit, however, with the adoption or the amendment of section 14.010.050F, there gives them 2 additional options for waiving that security deposit. They can either place on file with the billings office a copy of their debit card or credit card, or they can complete the auto pay form and upload that along with their application at the time of signing up, and then we will waive that security deposit, which makes everything much simpler for people to sign up for water. This does not take away the option of actually still coming in and signing up for those people that want to do that. But for those that do have the option and would like to sign up online at 12 o'clock at night while they thought about, oh, I got to get water, this will allow them the opportunity to do that. And with that, I will open up for any questions you might have.
Any questions from council?
No, but I have a comment. As somebody who's gone through that process at least 50 times in the last 10 years and probably got more complaints on that, and when I did a lot of those, I didn't have a warranty deed, I didn't have a lease. I figured out how to make it work, but we'll very much appreciate everybody involved in making this happen, and I think people can be very happy, so.
I do too.
Appreciate it.
I'd like to echo that. I think whatever we can do to make it more efficient for our customers to use our services and sign up for them is excellent. And I appreciate the work that you and your team have put in. So,
I agree. And adding the online, I mean, these days, so many of us, that's all we do is online. So I think it's the way of the future, and the fact that people still can go in if they want to. You know, we have both options, so.
I have nothing else to add, but just thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So this is just the first reading, and we'll bring it back here in another week, 2 weeks. Right. Okay. I should ask if there's anybody in the public tonight that would like to address council on this item. All right, moving on then to resolution number 29. Oh, I'm so sorry. Deputy Clerk, if you could read ordinance number 661 by title only.
Ordinance number 661, an ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of Cottonwood, Yavapai County, Arizona, amending Title 14, City Utilities, Chapter 14.05, Contract for Water or Water and Sewer Service of the Municipal Code by deleting Section 14.05.010, Contract for Services B, and adding a new subsections 3 and 4 to Section 14.05.010F. Mr. Mayor.
Good deal, thanks. Resolution number 2997, declaring those certain documents titled Administration of the International Building Code 2018 edition, International Building Code 2018 edition amendments made in the International Building Code, International Residential Code 2018 edition, Fuel Gas Code 2018 edition, International Plumbing Code 2018 edition, National Electric Code 2017 edition, International Mechanical Code 2018 edition, International Energy Conservation Code 2018 edition, International Fire Code 2018 edition, and International Property Maintenance Code 2018 edition to be public records. Evening, Mr. Hodges. Yes, it is.
Mayor, Honorable Council, Paul Hodges, I'm your building official. I'm here to introduce that resolution to you and recommend that you approve it.
Would you like to go over some highlights?
Excuse me?
Any highlights to share with
No,
us?
I don't really have anything to highlight except for the fact that we are trying to get caught up with the other jurisdictions and meet our requirements for ISO.
Mm-hmm.
We just recently had a survey done on the building department, and we were found lacking because we are more than 5 years in arrears on our building code. So by getting our codes up to date and keeping them up to date on a regular basis, we'll be able to lower our insurance rates for the entire city.
Great. And the county and Clarkdale are on board, Sedona's on board.
Camp Verde, they've already approved it.
Great.
We're working with them in the same thing.
Great. We conducted outreach to the contracting community.
We did earlier in the year when we adopted to 2012, and they all recommended that we come to the 2018, that we agree with the county and the other jurisdictions, and that so they could use the same code books in every jurisdiction.
Sure. Makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. Leaves out some confusion.
Sure.
And Mr. Mayor, Council, just to clarify, this item is the resolution declaring those volumes public records, so we don't have to publish them and bankrupt the city because they're about 1.5 feet tall. And then the next item that Paul's addressing and you were discussing with him is the substantive ordinance adopting those with the local amendments.
Okay. I'm blending them, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Why don't we have a motion then to approve the resolution?
Can I do it?
Yeah. I move to approve resolution number 2997.
Second.
We had a motion by Councilmember Althouse and second by,
The way around.
what?
Other way around.
Oh, I'm sorry. Councilmember Matthews made the motion, Althouse seconded it. If we could have a roll call vote.
Councilmember Althouse.
Yes.
Councilmember Hulse.
Yes.
Councilmember Matthews.
Yes.
Councilmember Naren.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Henry.
Yes.
Mayor Linsky.
Yes.
And motion carried.
Do you have to read that resolution now? No. Okay, great. All right, item 4, sorry, folks. Ordinance number 662, amending Title 15, Buildings and Construction of the Municipal Code to update the city's uniform building, fire, and technical codes. First reading.
And that's to answer you the questions you've asked. There again, we're trying to get caught up with the county and all the other jurisdictions. We all want to use the same code book so that a contractor working in Camp Verde can come over here and go to Sedona and not have to buy all those code books that are expensive.
Right. All right.
And there again, also our ISO rating was lowered this year because of us being 5 years in arrears. But if we adopt the 2018 and I send it off to ISO, they will automatically raise ours.
Great.
So.
I believe we have the chief here who wants to say a few words about ISO, I think.
Okay. Just to add in my 2 cents worth on the fire code, the only important to note is that the state adopts a fire code. The state is getting ready to adopt the 2018 fire code. We cannot adopt anything less than what the state adopts anyway, so we would have to enforce it at the 2018 code.
Very good.
Also, just a quick clarification on the ISO, because you hear me talk about ISO so much. ISO, the Insurance Services Office, rates building departments, they also rate the fire, and our rating of 2 that you remember we've talked about, that we kept, which is excellent, that's based upon our water system and our fire department and our communications. It's a little separate. There's also an ISO classification for building departments, and to do that, and I don't want there to be any confusion that it's going to hurt us on the one, but it will hurt us on the other.
So right now, we have an automatic 9.
Oh, okay.
Rating, which is 1 out of 10.
Got it.
And 10 being the worst.
Got it.
But as soon as we get that 2018 adopted, we'll be dropping ours significantly back down where it's supposed to be.
Okay, great. All right. Okay. Any other questions?
I'm still hung up on the events. I know we spent some time on this last time around. It's just so vague. Is there, can you just discuss a little bit, maybe provide some reassurance that we're going to be not be overly restricted?
Essentially the same assurance that we had last time. Again, we have to remember that while we make some amendments to it, our amendment, let me get my copy of, I have that unless you have it.
I don't have your. We didn't significantly change our amendments or make any amendments to the building codes. We made a couple to the International Property Maintenance Code where there's a place where you're supposed to put in the height of grass.
Right.
And we left that to our building, our code enforcement, and what we've already decided rather than putting in something, a figure that they wanted.
Chief, has this?
This is in the International Code. We make some amendments the most of the amended is amusement buildings, we add events because just for clarification more than anything else. It is required, these are not outside of what are normally required. What we add also is any amendment shall be approved by the fire code official. We give ourselves an out to be able to allow these things, and more so perhaps than that. We're not looking to try to shut down all kinds of events. That's not what we're after here with this. I think, some of it's also our history we've seen. But we also, as we kind of were discussing before, one of our problems we have is when somebody comes in and wants to put in something and just come in and an outside organization from outside the city wants to come in and put up, let's say, a haunted house and go into a building that it really shouldn't be in, we need to be able to have the ability to look out for the safety of our children and our adults within our community and do that. When we're looking at some of the groups like our own recreation department, when they want to put on a haunted house, we work with them, but we also have a lot more dealings that we deal with them on a day-to-day basis, and they also want to provide that safety. This is really, I'm more concerned about groups that come in that just are coming into town, packing in, trying to make a buck and then leave and don't care about really looking at all the safety of the things. I hope I answered it. We're always going to be as fair as we possibly can while looking out for the safety of our citizens.
Have any operational permits for events been denied since we approved this amendment? What is it?
They have not been denied since we approved this.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. Then I would move to approval. Oh, sorry, I can't do that. Man, just bear with me, folks. We're going to get through this together, okay? All right, so first reading. Deputy Clerk, please read ordinance number 662 by title only.
Ordinance number 662, an ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of Cottonwood, Yavapai County, Arizona, amending Title 15, Buildings and Construction of the Municipal Code to update the city's uniform building, fire, and technical codes. Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. All right, item 5, public hearing regarding the proposed new fee schedules for the Building and Safety Division, Planning and Zoning Division, Fire Department, and Engineering Department. Evening.
Mr. Mayor and council members, this has been going on since 2017, and last time we brought you the revised schedule in February, and there are no changes since then. It's all attached in the packet. I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have.
No.
Do we have any questions?
Thank you.
No? Okay.
And,
Do we have-
and Mr. Mayor, this is the time we set on the agenda for a public hearing.
Right.
So you-
Well, then let's ask if there's anybody here tonight from the public to address the council, speak on this item. Okay. Then we'll go ahead and close the floor to the public. Council has no questions for staff then? Okay. All right. And we move on to item 6, resolution number 3003, declaring the proposed new rates, fees, and charges for the city's Building and Safety Division, Planning and Zoning Division, Fire and Medical Department, and Public Works Engineering Department, and the supporting reports, projections, and estimates, therefore, to be public records.
I move to approve resolution 3033.
Second.
3003, sorry. You said 3033. I'm rubbing off on you, I think is what's happening.
What did I say?
3033, I thought.
That's what my packet says.
Oh, really?
That's what it says, 3033.
It does say 3033.
It does.
For the suggested.
It is 3003.
Okay.
Sorry. Sorry. So it's 3003, I guess. Something in the air tonight, I think. It's just.
We're in the packet.
Okay, I'll revise my motion exactly I move to approve resolution 3003.
Yeah, I see that now. How funny. Okay.
Second.
Okay, so Vice Mayor made the motion. Councilmember Holst seconded it. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Althouse.
Yes.
Councilmember Holst.
Yes.
Councilmember Matthews.
Yes.
Councilmember Naren.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Henry.
Yes.
Mayor Linsky.
Yes.
And motion carried.
Okay. Okay, moving on. Ordinance number 663, adopting new fee schedules for the Building and Safety Division, Planning and Zoning Division, Fire Department, and Engineering Department, first reading.
That was Barron's short presentation. These are the same numbers presented back in February, so we're here to answer questions if you have any, but we didn't receive any public input tonight nor previously, and you all have seen the numbers a couple times.
Yes. All right. Anyone here again from the public to address council on this? No? Okay. Council, any questions? Great. Okay, then we'll just, again, first reading. Deputy Clerk, please read ordinance number 663.
Ordinance number 663, an ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of Cottonwood, Yavapai County, Arizona, adopting new fee schedules for the Building and Safety Division, Planning and Zoning Division, Fire Department, and Engineering Department. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All right. Item 8, proposed reallocation of the utility project manager position to a proposed engineering assistant position. Evening, Mr. Winnicky.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for having me. I'd like to talk tonight about changing needs within the department, basically. For the fiscal 19 budget year, we had anticipated needing a utilities project manager to see utilities capital projects through completion of construction. Well, going through the application process, we went out on the street this past year, found some applicants, thought that we would interview them, so we did. We had 3 applicants we interviewed. Of the 3, we had 1 that we made an offer to. They were not willing to accept our offer at the salary. During the interview process, one of the applicants we had was an internal candidate that kind of shined some new light on maybe where we needed to go with what we had with internal talent. So we went back and looked at the drawing board in a way to see what the real needs are. Yes, we have capital needs going into the future. However, those needs on the utility side, which is what the position was really meant to do, have a finite life to them. So the thought was, okay, once we hit the end of that lifespan, now we're going to have to supplement that on the general fund. So could we look at using our resource a little bit better, maybe go with a assistant type of engineering position where an engineering training can move in, gain their experience so they can move forward to being a PE, and how we could go about doing that. Well, I talked with Tom and Amanda about it, and also Mr. Corbett, to see if this was something we could possibly do. They said, seems reasonable. We obviously have a need in the engineering department to provide engineering services to our utilities department, and this would be a way to grow a junior engineer into more of a senior type professional position over time and help them get the experience they need to get to where they want to go in their career. So what I'm proposing is we take the funding that we have for the utilities PM, we kind of move that aside and set it into a new position, which is a engineering assistant. The project manager position was funded at range 25. This new position would be range 20. So you got roughly a 22-23% cost savings overall from where we're at. And then we could actually provide better services to our utilities department with regards to pressure reducing valve design, small water line designs. We've got a lot of those needs that right now they're not engineered. They're just kind of put together out in the field. There's the oversight from me that they're done correctly, but we don't have a set of plans in place to do that. So this would help us kind of fulfill that need going forward. So I'd like to see what your opinion is.
Will we suffer at all without having a project manager position?
We have a project manager position on the public works side, and he has enough ability that if we had a utilities project come in, that he could manage that project as well. So I think we're okay in that respect.
So that position's not overtaxed?
No, not at this point.
That's my concern. Is this a long-term, is this viable long-term?
I think so. I see this position really being that point where we have a junior person that could grow on the engineering side, but in doing that, he would gain his experience on the project management side as well, so he could actually take on that project management role on the utility side. So kind of, you start, unfortunately in engineering, you start as basically an apprentice. You go ahead and you learn the skills, and then you start practicing them on the design side, but you also learn the construction at the same time, so it gives you a nice, well-rounded approach to things. So I think this would actually be a benefit for everybody.
And your thought is that he or she would be learning the project manager position from Public Works? The current?
Yes, yeah, they would learn from Public Works and also myself.
I like the cost savings. I just want to make sure we're not making a short-sighted decision.
No, understood, that's fair.
Good. No, it makes sense, and I like the cost savings, anywhere where we can try to save money.
I agree.
I agree. I think it's a step in the right direction. If I understand you correctly, this individual would be trained and eventually could fill the project manager position.
Sure, yep. And unfortunately, it's one of those things, you can't just take a junior person and throw them right in that role. They would definitely be overwhelmed by that. So we have to kind of build up skills on both sides so that way you've got a nice, well-rounded experience.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, if I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was just going to say that I think it shows our support for staff and our wanting to train them to better themselves and improve their position with the city.
Definitely.
Mr. Mayor, if I can add, this employee has a degree in engineering, so to get his PE, he has to apprentice under an engineer, such as ours. It also adds, and Robert mentioned this, adds another set of engineering eyes onto the work that we're doing in the utilities, and I think that is a very good thing.
Great.
Now I have a question.
Yes.
Since you're changing the position, will you repost it and reopen it? Or?
Yes.
Where did Amanda go?
Yes, all positions are filled competitively. We'll probably fill it internally, so it'll only be advertised internally for this person who meets the qualifications. Because sometimes you're surprised, like we found on this. This gentleman has a engineering degree, working in a position that requires no degree. So every now and again, when you put out internal applications like this, you find a gem, which is what we believe we have here. So.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we were posting it.
Thank you. All right. Let's.
I move to approve the proposed reallocation of the utility project manager position to a new engineering assistant position as recommended by staff.
Second.
Okay, we had Councilmember Althouse make the motion. Councilmember Matthews seconded it. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Althouse?
Yes.
Councilmember Halls?
Yes.
Councilmember Matthews?
Yes.
Councilmember Naren?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Henry?
Yes.
Mayor Linsky?
Yes.
And motion carried.
Great, good work. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Move to pay the claims and adjustments.
Second.
Okay, Althouse made the motion. Vice Mayor seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned, thank you.